All right, hey guys, welcome here to what are we going to call this? We're going to call this Military Monday live stream. We are out here. You see the Ferris wheel behind me. We are out in glorious Las Vegas, and we're out here for SHOT Show. I'm sorry I don't have all the fancy graphics and everything else. We're going to do this from my hotel room. Internet's okay, right? The hotel I'm staying at's not the best hotel, not the worst hotel, not bad at all. But anyways, I'm glad I got a chance to hang out. I'm unavailable tomorrow night, guys, because we have the what do you call it? What do you call it? The Special Forces reunion is tomorrow night. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to that. Not that I don't love you guys, but yeah, it is what it is. That's exactly what it is. So, anyways, I appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me tonight here. It's always great to hang out, answer some questions with you guys. I've got a great sponsor tonight. They've sponsored us before for good reason. We're awesome. So are they. So you guys should really check out Sonoran Desert Institute. I'm a big fan of SDI. It's an online school, so whether you just got out of high school, maybe you between jobs, maybe you've got a job, but you want to take some college courses on the side. Maybe you're that Joe that just got out of the military. You've got that GI Bill, all right? You are allowed to use, because SDI is DEAC accredited, you can use that federal student aid, other funding sources. So if you're wanting to get into like the firearms industry, it doesn't matter if if you're wanting armor skills, shooting sports management, they do stock checkering, muzzle loader building, kydex forming, you name it, they do it. And it's really good courses. I know some guys that have taken them, and I used my whole GI Bill to put my son through college. But anyways, Sonoran Desert Institute, great place, great place indeed. It's online, it's accredited, and you can get that certificate of firearm technology. You can get an associate's degree, or you can just do what I did. I don't, not real big on diplomas. I have 193 credit hours. Never got my diploma because I didn't care. I have enough graduation certificates. I don't need one more piece of paper. I'm more about getting the knowledge, and Sonoran Desert Institute can do that for you guys. So anyways, it's good stuff. It's good stuff indeed. I see we got a bunch of comments coming in. The chat room always losing their mind. That's why we call you guys the asylum. Not bad. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm hoping. All right. So here's the deal. You can put a question in the comment section. I prefer if you use Super Chat. That way you're making a small donation to the preservation of Carl Erickson Foundation. And but you don't have to. If you've got a legitimate question, just put it in the comment section. And then our moderators and mediators, they're out there all across the planet. What they will do is they pull your questions. If you're a troll, they put you in timeout. But if you got a legitimate question, they'll send it to me. Like Miss Britcher actually just sent me one. All right. This is how your questions show up, guys. I know you can't really see that, but how is that better? That's how they show up for me. Steve Rogers, Carl, comma. Are you attending SHOT? You seeing anything interesting? I really think about it. I guess I'm in Vegas and out here, family vacation. My wife, my daughter, my son. Well, if SHOT's going on, I guess I could go to SHOT Show. Yes, of course I'm at SHOT, guys. I don't gamble. I honestly believe I used up all my luck overseas. I couldn't hit a $2 scratch off at a gas station. I just couldn't. So I come to Vegas once a year, and that is for the SHOT Show convention, shooting, hunting, outdoor trade show, SHOT. And those of you that haven't been following us, we spent all of last week in Arizona filming some awesome guns, filming a new upgrade system for the minigun, new upgrade system for the M240 machine gun, a much lighter version of it, totally badass. A chain gun that's 50 caliber. They also have a 25 millimeter chain gun, but this, give you an example, a Maudus 50 cal M2 has got 1,200 pounds of recoil. It's why you don't put it up against your shoulder. Let's just put it that way. This chain gun 50 cal takes the same barrel, by the way, exact same size, same butterflies, 400 pounds of recoil. That sounds like a lot. It's not, guys. It's not. And this thing can even be mounted on a drone, which is totally badass. So we filmed them for a couple days, some new armor piercing ammo, and we got to shoot a bunch of plates, level 4 plates, like no joke. Some of my old plates, I even shot some of them, and from there we went up into the mountains and we filmed a couple survival videos. I don't know if you guys, and I don't remember the name of the show. It was on the Discovery Channel, but it had this hippie survival guy named Cody. Like braided ponytails, and bandana, barefoot, even in the snow, barefoot. Super nice guy. And they had him paired up with a special ops survival expert. And I guess they didn't vet the special ops survival expert because they ended up going through 2 of them. Turns out both of them were frauds. And Cody is so not a fraud. He is no joke. The man, he's very, very much the subject matter expert on his types of survival. So he did a couple videos with us, and for our YouTube channel, it's like, yeah, no, I love what you guys do. Emery's awesome. Him and Emery hit it off real quick. They really did. They hit it off real good. So anyway, so that's kind of, we filmed a couple there. Then big snowstorm. You guys saw how California was getting hit with all that rain. Well, that rainstorm then went up into the mountains and hit me and Emery right while we were coming over the mountains. And one pickup truck flipped on its roof, not Emery's, and there was a bunch of trailer trucks had lost their shit, but one trailer home was laying on its roof also. But other than that, no big deal. Emery did get a crack in his windshield, all the rocks coming off all the other vehicles, they plow trucks, all that loosened stuff up. It is what it is. So anyways, we drove into shot. We've got my son with me. He's going to follow me around, film everything. My wife and daughter actually just got on an airplane. They're flying out here. They're going to hang out with us. And we're going to have a good show. Today, Monday, was range day. Industry only range day. So we have our media pass. Ain't that funny? Retired Green Beret, and now I'm media. It's kind of funny, guys. If you had asked me before I retired, hey, Carl, you're going to be a social media influencer, I would have punched you right in the throat. That's what I would have done. But here I am wearing a media badge going to range day. So that's what I'm doing. And so I know you guys have got those questions, right? Like, what's the new latest hotness at SHOT Show? Yeah. And so far at range day, there's just not a lot of new stuff. We shot the Alien pistol that came out a year or so ago. It's new. You know how we always tell you to get your hand high up on the back strap? Well, the barrel is actually basically in front of your trigger finger. That's how low the barrel is inside the gun. The rest of the frame is over the top. It makes the pistol bigger than it needs to be. It is a nice shooting pistol. But I won't say it's groundbreaking. It's not. And they're insanely expensive. If that's your thing, if you like sexiness, you got deep pockets. It is what it is. The Alien pistol, we shot that. We shot a bunch of other guns. My son, Zenith, they've sponsored a couple of our videos. They are the only ones approved to use the actual drawings and stuff for the old H&K MP5 made here in the US. They were there. My son Nicholas wanted to shoot a real MP5. So we went and shot them. Glock's got a couple new pistols out, new Glock trigger. I didn't really mess with it. because there's a long line of people to get into Glock, and I kind of just went around the side of everybody and talked right to the executive vice president of marketing, Ed Fitzgerald, and said, Ed, what's new this year? And he's like, we've got the new 45 and the 10 millimeter. Okay, those are, I know those are Gen 5s, but those you had them back in Gen 3. It's Glock. I love Glock. I love Glock because it hasn't changed. It doesn't need to change, and it's good. And they do have a new Glock trigger, which everybody replaces their. Not me. I'm big on using stock, but I do change the connectors in all my Glocks. I run 3.5 pound Ghost or Lone Wolf connectors in all my, so I have the same trigger pull in all my Glocks. Now I do have one Glock, my G45. We did a video. Pete Jones put the Timney Glock trigger in it, and I said I'd leave it in for a while to test it out to see if I start having problems with it. And besides it shitting the bed on Operation Valkyrie because it being underwater and ice and everything else, besides that, I haven't had any problems with it. So I don't know, but now I'm gonna try this new Glock trigger, and we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. Hoping it will play out good. Indeed. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm hoping because my mic is not moving very much at all. My little sound bar here. Susan, let me know if you guys can hear me. All right. Let's see. I had a super chat come in from the Gustash 2531, 3 down 5 bones, sir. Have you heard that Glock is going to announce a new trigger drop in for the G17 in SHOT Show? No, and didn't really hear that. No, actually, I'm sorry, man. I didn't read I don't read the comment section. I don't read the chat room. Between Jerry J and everybody else, you got sometimes y'all doing that kinky stuff in the chat room. That's just not me. It's not me. Right. So, yeah, I've heard they have a new Glock trigger that you can drop in the guns, and we'll see. If it'll fit in a Glock 17, it should fit in a Glock 19. If it fits in the Glock 19, it'll fit in my 34, my 35, my G45, and basically most of the rest of them. And yeah, I'm excited to see it too. I am. Sound is good. Awesome. And I got another one coming in. So you guys can hear me okay. All right. I have another question come in from Sydney Shaw. How about a new non-bracing pistol brace to usurp new completely made up ATF rule? Guys, I know I saw everything else y'all did about a week ago on Instagram. It was all over. And you got to remember, guys, I don't watch anything on the internet. I really don't. If I need, because the interweb is supposed to be the World Wide Web for information. So if I need to clean my espresso machine, I put in clean barista model number, blah, blah, blah. Up pops the best videos on how to do it. How to reach that one little screw under the Jeep on the flux capacitor that I cannot get to. There's a video on it, right? But besides that, I just don't sit around and I that's just not me. So, but I do Instagram for you guys. The film crew says, hey, Carl, once a day, once every couple of days, post something on Instagram. Okay, so I started doing that. They auto-populate to Facebook. I have never been to Facebook. We have a Tactical Rifleman account. If you leave me notes there, you might as well just take a magic marker and write it on the ceiling in your mom's kitchen, because that's about the same chance of me seeing it. But if you leave notes on Instagram, I read them all. Now, my wife has my Instagram account on her phone, so she's going to read them all. My son's got the account, and the film crew have it. But for the most part, they let me answer all the questions, just like your videos or just like your comments on our YouTube videos. I do all the comment section on our YouTube videos. I took that away from the film crew because they're putting words into my answering comments for me the first year. And they would cut and paste answers from previous questions that sounded alike to them. How do you zero an AK sounds a lot like how do you zero an AR, and they're not the correct answers. So I took those questions away from them and comments and stuff. So I do all them. But anyways, I was looking on Instagram and I saw something about, this was about a week ago, 2 weeks ago now, 2 weeks, that the ATF the pistol brace and the bump stock have been shot down by the Supreme Court, and the ATF is like, total win. The ATF loses and we're good to go. And then a couple days ago, the ATF came out with their final ruling on braces. And now there's like 40 million felons in the US, 40 million brand new felons. Okay. The reality is, though, none of you guys clip this stuff on your arm as a brace. You put it on your shoulder. You're using it as a stock. Now, you guys have been living off of this loophole for years, all right? But none of you guys use it as a brace. You just don't. And I actually know a guy that's disabled bad, blown up in Afghanistan, and he actually uses the pistol brace as a brace. But the rest of us, you are very fortunate that you have not been blown up, and that you do not need to have a brace on your forearm in order to hold a pistol. Now, full disclosure, the National Firearm Act, and if you go all the way back to the Roaring 20s, when they outlawed so many other things, I don't think it's correct. I believe, according to our Bill of Rights, the Second Amendment and everything, you should be allowed to have suppressors on your guns. You should be able to have a short barrel on your gun. You should be able to have a short barrel on your shotgun. Full auto, it doesn't matter to me because I don't shoot rifles full auto. You can't control them. But sure, why not, right? For sport. So basically my thing is to defend this country. All the Americans need to have access to firearms. Okay. So I want the NFA completely done away with. There should be no NFA saying that you cannot have a rifle with a barrel shorter than 16 inches. It shouldn't, because it really doesn't matter if it's 15 inches or 16 inches. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. We like shorter guns for storing and close quarters battle and stuff like that. A lot of you guys like shorter guns because they're lighter and they look sexier. A lot of you guys like those big fireballs. You get your 4-inch barrels on your 5.56 ARs, and you've got all that gunpowder burning outside the barrel. It looks sexy. You guys like it. I think you should have the right to have that. I do. But to say that, we should have they shouldn't make braces illegal. Braces should not be illegal because people that are actually handicapped need braces, but neither should short-barreled rifles. And they're really not, right? You can pay a $200 tax stamp and you can get a short barrel. I have one that's registered. I have a bunch of suppressors that are registered. However, that goes back to my argument is, so now you're saying only rich people get treated special, and they can pay the $200 to get a suppressor, or they can pay the $200 to get a shorter barrel. It doesn't matter. The laws of physics don't differentiate between me and the rich guy. but the rich guy can afford the $200. Now, $200 doesn't sound like a lot to you guys. To some of you it does, but to a lot of you, what you're pissed off about is you don't want the government to have this big registry of your name and knowing what guns you have. You want to be able, and I agree with you, but money point, when they first, and they haven't raised the price, mind you, but back when they first came up with this, think Bonnie and Clyde and all that stuff back then. Think all your mobsters with the Thompson machine guns, with the big drum mags, and the Roaring 20s, and you got the assassins with their suppressors. If you were a rich mob assassin, you could get a registered suppressor, but you had to pay $200. Now, $200 back then was a metric shit ton of money. It was a lot of money, like a lot of money. All right. They haven't raised the prices. Okay. So back then, if you were rich, you could have as many suppressors as you wanted. You could have as many short-barreled rifles as you wanted. You could have as many full autos as you wanted. Because the elite in the country, they get treated different, and that's the part that bothers me. I could care less about them having a list of what guns I have, because and I agree with you, they shouldn't. Okay, but that's not the part that bothers me. The $200, that's not the part that bothers me. All right. I'll sell one more slot for a class, and that'll pay for a suppressor. It's not the 9-month wait for the paperwork to get approved so I can get my suppressor back. That's not what bothers me. What bothers me is they're violating the Second Amendment right, and it's the swamp and the elite in corporate America. They get to do whatever they want. They do. They get away with. I would say they get away with murder, but when you're talking about Hillary, they get away with committing suicide all the time. She has had so many people commit suicide. It is what it is. So it bothers me. So if a few years back, I don't know if you guys remember, I designed my own rifle, and I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of that with the company and everything. It's still hands down the best AR I've ever used. I'm just not big on the customer service end of it. Anyways, my TR1 rifle, everybody was getting them shorter, a couple inches shorter, with braces on them. Emery's got one, Z's got one, this person's got one, that, and they all had their barrels 2 inches, that's it, 2 inches shorter than mine, but they had a brace on it, and I'm like, no, because I don't need a brace on my forearm. My buddy that got blown up, he needs a brace on his forearm. So what I did was I went with a pinned Surefire brake, or muzzle flash hider. You can go with either one. It was an option on the gun, and a 13.7 inch barrel, which made it exactly 16 inches. All right. Now, why that matters is because I knew this was coming, guys. I knew that the ATF, they're very anti-American. I don't know what it is. I don't know who beat them up when they were in high school. I don't know what it is, but they are very, very anti-American, and I am very, very pro-American. So anyway, so I saw it coming. I was like, I'm going to avoid all this. I'm gonna stay 16 inch, because if I put a suppressor, a short barrel rifle, blah 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 blah, crossing state lines, all that, there's so much jackassery. I wanted to avoid it. Now, so my work gun isn't bothered by this decision at all. Now, don't get me wrong. I have got, I don't know how many guns I have that have braces on them. I have a bunch, and it sucks. So I'm going to take my braces off, and leave the guns right there and plead ignorance. And I've got other guns to use, and I will support the lawyers and support the companies, GOA, and everybody else that will be paying their lawyers to take this to court, because that's where it needs to be beat, guys. It needs to be beat in court. You need to be electing people that will fix this problem for us. All right, so I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to get into politics, but yeah, the whole brace thing. I know it pisses you guys off. It pisses me off too. It does. It pisses me off, but nothing I can do about it right now. Jake Snyder, what kind of trigger do you run in your Accuracy International? I know they make a aftermarket trigger for it, but honestly, the trigger that came in my Accuracy International AXMC is it is an insanely light trigger, and that gun is already more accurate than I can shoot it. I want that to sink in, because I'm old. All right. You see, I got that. You see that little quiver in my hand, right? You see it, right? You see that quiver, right? The problem is that's my shooting hand, right? It's funny, but there's part of it, all right? Eyes start to go bad, everything else. I'm a 1 MOA shooter. I'm a fast 1 MOA shooter. I understand the math, the ballistics, everything else. And I've hit the 1 mile target. You can go to dnlsports.com. You go to their 1 mile club page on their website, and you'll see me there with the knockdown C-zone steel plate that's up on the mountain 1 mile away. I leave out the part that it took me 4 bullets to hit it. All right. I can shoot that far. Never shot a human being that far. My furthest kill of a human being is 460 meters, 463, thereabouts. But it was 3 guys in the dark. The first one was moving, and actually the first one was a headshot too, which sounds cool, right? Except I was aiming at the guy in front of him, and that guy stepped in front of the bullet and caught it in the head. But I mean, it's all in who's telling the story, right? My point for saying that is most combat shooting is well within 500-600 meters. All right. So these guys that are going out now and working on these 3,000 meter shots, it's fun. It's a fun hobby. But it's not practical. It's just not. If something is 3,000 meters away, I can have the Air Force hit it. I can, and they're going to be more accurate. All right. Guaranteed they're going to get a first round hit. Air Force is going to get a first round hit with a satellite guided 2,000-pound bomb. They're not going to miss by 6 inches. They're not. You see what I'm getting at? All right. Now, a target that is 500 meters away, the Air Force can't shoot there because it's too close to me. All right. So for me, I'm more about the tactical and practical aspect of shooting than some of this sexy stuff that's out there. So yeah, my trigger in my Accuracy International, and it's an adjustable trigger, but it is a beautiful trigger. And I know a lot of guys, they want to get all the aftermarket parts. I had a patron, I'm not going to dime him out, I'm not going to say gee, but he actually asked if it was worth putting a titanium guide rod in his Glock to make it more reliable. And I've heard of guys saying they wanted to replace the firing pins in their sniper rifles because the titanium fire pin is lighter than their other firing pin, and it gives them a faster lock time. That's the time it takes when you release that sear for that firing pin to move forward and hit that primer. You understand how short that distance is. If you are so accurate so insanely accurate that it's the ammo and the powder charge and the imperfections in your match grade bullets that are making your shot group bigger than a quarter of an inch. Because it's not you missing, because you're that good. If you're that good, okay, fine, spend the money on a better trigger. But me personally, rather than doing that, I just don't need to do it. It's already, you understand, Accuracy International makes some beautiful guns that already come with dual triggers. They really do. So, and I heard this company had a brand new trigger, for the AI, and I was like, oh, maybe I should. And I thought about it. I was like, I can't shoot that gun as good as that gun shoots itself. So I'm just running a stock trigger. Guys. All right. Brace. Sorry, guys. I know I'm long-winded. Without further ado, how do you zero a M203A1? M203A1. That's like saying, how do you zero a M16A1, just like a M16. If you're talking, and I don't know what you're calling an M203, are you talking about the 40 millimeter grenade launcher? If you are, you just, all you're doing is you're verifying the data on the scope. What I mean by that is set your quadrant sight or your leaf sight. You need to zero both of them. And if and there's a couple of different optical sights for the M203s, and the other, there are side crack versions. There's a bunch of different 40 millimeter systems. There's even 6-shot and 8-shot rotary 40 millimeter grenade launchers. They all are basically the same, whether you're using quadrant sights, leaf sights, or you're using one of the optics. There's even some that have lasers. I'm not big on active visible lasers. Set it at a distance, and then you're adjusting windage and elevation. Now, if you're using the leaf sight on a M203, your front sight is actually the front sight of the M16. You're not going to adjust that. You're just going to adjust windage and then elevation on the leaf sight. Same thing with the quadrant sight. Set it for a distance. You do thread the pin up and down for elevation. You can zero it at 200. You can zero it at 100. I'm big on 100 meters for a M203 40 millimeter, because that's the range you're going to be using it the most. Dealing with 40 millimeters, especially in the city, the part that we found where 40 millimeter really comes in handy is, because remember, I got all my snipers out there. Guys will hide around the corner of a building. You see the alleyway, but they're right around the corner, and they're there. But you can see the far wall of that alley also, and you can't really ricochet sniper rounds off. Well, I guess you could, but it doesn't work real good with the soft, crappy concrete they got over there. But you can lob a 40 millimeter round, and it hits that far wall, or it drops right in the alleyway. Boom, round goes off. And the cool part is, if you manage to get it to go behind them, it scares them to run out into the street where all your snipers are aiming. So it is what it is. Yep, the 320 is a much better system. It's kind of like saying a M4 is better, saying that a M16 A4 is better than an M16 A1. Of course it is. The 320 is a much better system. All right. Okay, we got another super chat come in. This one's from Riff Leman. 20 bones. Carl, how would you define being physically fit? That's up to you guys. You need to look at yourself in the mirror, and you get up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror, and are you a good person? Are you in shape well enough to do what it is you need to do? And understand, not everybody's built the same. There's some people that are naturally better runners, or they're better at cardio. There are guys that are naturally denser bones with more muscle mass. They're corn fed, all right? But what you'll find is, well, this guy's got an advantage. He's built better. No, not really. They're not. If that guy that you go into the gym and he can bench 450 pounds so many times, and he's just massive muscle, he's fucking worthless. He's worthless to me. I don't have any use to him on a modern battlefield, because as soon as you put body armor on him, he can't climb walls and climb through windows and keep up with me chasing down bad guys. And likewise, those skinny guys you see running on the sidewalks doing this, they're skinny. The marathoners, they run great times doing marathons. They've got great cardio, but they've got to ask their wives to carry the groceries in because they don't have any muscle mass. They're built for running, so that's all they focus on. The guy in the gym was built for muscle mass, and that's all he does because that's all he was good at. That's not what I define being a winner. You look in the mirror and you can be happy with your life. I'm happy with my life, guys. I am. I try to be a good person. I try to learn something new every day. But what you've got to do is assess you in the mirror. All right. What are your God-given talents? What are your weaknesses? All right. I have lost a lot of my muscle mass because I was put on this planet to run. I can run like a gazelle, even not now with my bad knee, but if I had to run, I could still run. My knee would kill me. Even when I was getting ready to retire as a crusty old sergeant major, I think my last PT test, the 2-miler, was 12:35, 12 minutes and 35 seconds for a 2-miler. Back in the day, I could run a lot faster. Could I work on? Yeah, but that's not what I needed to be a well-rounded Green Beret. I needed to, I weigh 200 pounds right now. I went in the Army weighing 133. I want that to sink in. All right. I could run like the wind, but I couldn't lift weights. I couldn't wear body armor and climb over a wall, climb through windows. I couldn't climb rope wearing body armor. I needed muscle mass, and it's hard for me to put it on. Now all my injuries, I can't do heavy weights anymore. Guys, I'm 55 years old. I can't do heavy weights. I can't do CrossFit. I do light weights. I do kettlebells, things like that, kayak, mountain bike, to keep my carcass from dying. But I have to work at putting on that muscle mass. So at my height as an assaulter, sniper, I want to say I was an E7, E8 time frame. I maxed out muscle wise at about 220 pounds. That's about where I stayed. But since then, I got a torn muscle in my shoulder. Both my knees are shot, this, that, and the other. I can't do heavy weights anymore. So I don't, but I have to work at it. So for physical fitness, there's no reason for you to be like me. There's no reason for you to be like the guy running down the sidewalk. There's no reason for you to be like the guy in the gym. What you need to do is decide what physical fitness is for you. And for me, I still need to be able to teach classes. But remember, what classes am I teaching? I'm teaching you how to become a capable citizen, defend your house, your neighborhood, your family, and your country. So somebody asked, I'm right at 6 foot, guys. I'm right at 6 foot tall. My aura is 6'5", but I'm actually only 6 foot tall. All right, 6'1". It depends how hot she is. All right. With all it is. All right. So you got to work at it. You've got to decide what it is you need to do. I need to be able to still throw on body armor and still do the obstacle courses. I can still climb a rope. The rope. I love doing obstacle courses in kit. and I can still do the T1G obstacle course in rifle, helmet, and pistol. I don't usually wear the helmet, but I still wear my kit and my rifle and my gun belt. That's just how I do obstacle courses. I need to be able to perform. So that is different for me, what I require of myself, than it is for you. You have to make that decision. I cannot tell you, I can't tell you what it's important, what is important for you. All right. Good question, though. Ed P. Howdy, Carl. At SHOT Show, can you check out the new Mira CM8M full face gas mask? Would like to hear your opinion. Actually, I'm big on mirror safety stuff because, one, I think everybody should you start going down the preparedness rabbit hole, and you've got to deal with natural disasters, stuff like that. Everybody's worst case scenario, EMP, but their EMP is the worst, and it could be solar flares, but the one that everybody worries about is a nuclear detonation high over the central United States. Okay. How about if they don't detonate it high? How about if they detonate it low? Okay. Radioactive fallout, things like that, chemical weapons. But even the super volcano, Yellowstone, if Yellowstone was to erupt, you would, and you look at the natural, and it depends what time of the year and what the weather patterns are and stuff, but our usual weather patterns coming across the U.S., even my house, we're getting swamped, but even upstate New York, they're looking to get an eighth to a quarter of an inch of volcanic dust from Yellowstone. Okay, far-fetched, never going to happen, even though the Yellowstone volcano is like 600 years late for erupting, blah, 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 blah. Nobody worries about volcanoes. The problem with that fine volcanic dust is it's not dust like dust you guys are used to. It's not sandstorm dust that all our veterans are used to. If you've ever looked at pumice dust, you look at it under a microscope. It's razor sharp little bits, and you breathing that stuff in, it'll tear you up. It really will. So mirror safety, if you don't have at least a couple of gas masks, you can pick them up. Yeah, but the old place to get them was gun shows. You get used ones, Army surplus ones. Most of the filters are expired. They'll still probably work. The gas masks have reached their service life in the military. They're used. They probably will still work if the military unit maintained them properly, didn't let them dry rot, blah, 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 blah. But mirror safety, you're getting that same stuff, but it's new. And so, yeah, I will stop by mirror safety for sure, guys, for sure. I have a few of the masks already. I like full face masks. It gives you better situational awareness. Their mask, the one that I actually keep at the ready though, is it actually has two eye cups, and they actually sit very deep. And the reason why I like them is because my bino nods lock right in on them. And you can get the nods much closer to your face than you can with the full face one. But I will check it out for you. I will. Downloading an image. All right. I got somebody sending me pictures. Not sure why she would do that. How would you? We already did that one. All right. Susan just sent me a picture. Why are you sending me a picture, Susan? All right, Michael Johnson. Question: what do you think about Ruger's new SFAR small and lightweight semi-auto 308. I think I'm getting tired of carrying around a full-size AR-10. There was a lot of people at the Ruger range today, so I didn't stop by. I will go by the Ruger booth. New lightweight small 308s is not really anything new. There's been a couple companies that have put the 308s on the smaller platform. Friends Reception, right? Yeah, there's been a couple companies that have done it, and but I'll check it out, see if it's anything new and groundbreaking. Ruger's a good company, really has not had anything groundbreaking here lately. The reality is, guys, there's not a lot of new stuff coming out, and when it does come out, a lot of people bash Keltec. Oh, Keltec is crap. Yeah, I used to be like that too. But the reality is, the old man that invented the company, he invented a bunch of new things, and they never took off. They were new, and understand, small company, but a lot of them were adopted by other companies. They basically stole his ideas, and then they went on and made some of the most innovative stuff that's out today. It's not vice versa. A lot of people think that Keltec has copied a lot of other people's ideas, but it's not. What's the pump shotgun that's got the two tubes? Keltex is the only good one out there like that. The other brands, I think there's two other brands making them now. Theirs are ass. They don't run. They just don't run as well as the Keltec one does. All right. I will check out. The. Nope, that's Black Diamond. Sorry, Susan. I think I went like way too far back. Yeah, I went way. Sorry, guys. My phone went way too far back. All right. I will go check it out. Yeah, Ruger's always got a big booth. Guys, if you're not familiar with what SHOT Show is think gun show, but it's not. You go to a gun show, you got everybody there selling used gear, and there's nothing used at SHOT Show. It is all the manufacturers, and then it's not open to the public. You got all the manufacturers, but then you have all the buyers. So let's say you've got a FFL, you own a gun store. Sportsman's Guide is there, and Allen's Arsenal, Pete Jones is there, Brownells is there, and these buyers walk around to all these booths, and they go in, and if you go to a normal gun show, you go up and you're trying to buy one gun. You want to buy that lever action Henry rifle. That's not SHOT Show. When the guy from Walmart says Walmart on his badge, when the guy from Walmart goes into the Henry booth and says, I want 3 of these, he means he wants 3 for every Walmart store in America. 3 for every store. Literally, that's the kind of orders that are being done at SHOT Show. So you've got little companies that are trying to make it, but they're having to pay $10,000 to get a booth that's 10 feet by 10 feet. And then you've got companies like Remington that has a booth that's, I want to say it's 60, 70 feet by 100 feet. Give you an idea how much their booth costs, right? But then you look at the sales that are going to be there. Brownells is going to walk in there, Cabela's, Bass Pro and Walmart and all these big buyers. Every gun, every FFL out there is going to walk into that booth and buy Remington products to put on their shelves. So there's a lot of and it is a big show, guys. I used to try to walk the whole thing back in the day. My first time going was 2002, January 2002. We had just got back from the initial invasion of Afghanistan. And it was crazy. I'd never been there before. My unit said, "Hey, Carl, you're the master sniper. You're going to SHOT Show with Scotty Neal. He was the master assaulter. Steve Holland, a couple other guys from the S8 shop, R&D, Force Modernization. They went. We all went to SHOT Show, and as soon as I walked into that room, and I'm just looking around like, holy smokes." So I was talking to uh, somebody in the Barrett booth. I think it was Ronnie Barrett's daughter, and their booth, I want to say, was 20 feet wide and 80 feet long, whatever. Had a couple little small rooms in it, and she said it was like, and I got to remember, this was 2002. She said, "Yeah, our booth costs us it was like $135,000." Now I'm sitting there thinking, at the time, I want to say one of their Barretts was like 10 grand or 9 grand or something like that, one of the rifles. And I was like, how can you make it? How can you be a business when your product is, you're probably making $1,000 per gun and you got to pay $135,000 for this booth? And she just smiled and said, "You see my dad right there coming out of that room. The guy he's shaking hands with is from the Australian Army or South African Army, whoever it was." And he's like, they just signed a contract to put one Barrett rifle in every squad of every one of their infantry units in all their military units. Okay. So anyways, there's a lot of money going through in SHOT. There's a lot. But the cool part is for guys like me, I've always enjoyed going to SHOT because it's a boondoggle. And I get to go and see my old SF buddies that, we're from 10th group or 1st group or 7th group. And for example, the reason why we're doing this live stream tonight is because tomorrow night is the Special Forces reunion. And I've already bought tickets for me and Emery to go to it. And my wife and son and daughter, they're going to go off and do dinner or whatever. But me and Emery, because I just want to, Emery's my ride so I can drink. But I just want to go hang out and visit because this is a chance for me to see all my buddies from other SF groups. So anyways, it's SHOT Show is, it can be fun. It really can be fun. What is that? I think I'm going to delete that one. Yeah. Let's see. I already did that one. All right. Ruger New Star. I already did that one. Marvin from New York City, Drummer 23, threw down 5 bones minus shipping and handling. Sup, Marvin? Sup? How you doing, Marvin? All right. Annalise and Kyle, they threw down 10 bones. What exactly do you dislike? The P226 or similar SIG models. Hope you guys have a fun time at SHOT Show. Guys, the 226 was a great gun back in the day. But and I have a couple of them, but I don't carry them. Why? Well, obviously there must be some reason. They're dated. They're very dated. What I mean by that is they have exposed hammers. They don't have a good external set. They have a decock lever. Okay, that's nice. Nice to have a decock lever, but they have exposed hammers, and I have seen. Remember, I like to do obstacle courses. But I have seen guys do obstacle courses, man-X's, that's what we call manly exercises. We've done man-X's and like you've got to crawl underneath a Humvee or you got to do this, you got to, and rain and the mud and everything. And then we have like a plate rack set up. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look at, I want to say it was season 2 of the Maximum Warrior competition. You can find it. Go to Maxim Magazine, go to Maximum Warrior on YouTube, and season 2, and look up the obstacle course. And we have a 6-plate rack test It's about 2/3 of the way through the obstacle course. These guys are smoked because they just did a 1 rope bridge, climbed the rope to start, 1 rope bridge, 3 rope bridge, incline, decline, monkey bars. I'm the guy that built the obstacle course. Because I love it. I love it. But you get to the plate rack, and your forearms are so smoked from doing incline, decline, monkey bars. You only get 6 bullets in your pistol, and every bullet you miss adds 30 seconds to your time on the obstacle course. Every obstacle you can't do adds 5 minutes to your time on obstacle course. So we had guys doing the obstacle course in 9 minutes, but then we had guys doing the obstacle course in over 60 minutes because it makes a difference whether you're in shape or not. But I'm watching guys there with their H&K pistols with the exposed hammer, or the 1911s with the exposed hammers, and the guy pulls their gun out and they get a click, or maybe they get one bang, but then it doesn't cycle. And the reason why is because they get in all the mud and the sand and the rain, and exposed hammers. And I go, well, the 1911 is a very reliable gun. I got that. So is a SIG 226. So is a M9 Beretta, guys. M9 Beretta served the military great. It did. They're dated. So it's not that I hate the 226. I'm not big on exposed triggers. I mean, exposed hammers. I don't like exposed hammers. So I like these. If you're going to get a SIG, get this SIG 320 with the external safety. Get a M17 or M18, and they're great guns. They are great guns. Get a Glock. They are great guns. My only gripe with the Glock is I wish it had an external safety on it. All right. But like these guys that will cut up their slides, put holes in them, like the side of their ARs, they'll cut all the parts out to make them lighter, make them look cooler. And that's fine for 3-gun season, but not for combat, guys. Just not for combat. Not for combat. I know, Annalise, you like your pretty guns. That's fine. You can, I'm not bashing your 226. You can be a 226 girl all you want. I'm just not a 226 guy. All right. Sydney Shaw, Tactic Rifleman. What's your opinion on cold hammer forged AR barrel? Honestly, I don't have an opinion on it. I don't. And here's why. There are guys that will say you got to do cold hammer forged, you've got to do chrome lined, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. And I don't have an opinion on it because I have seen some of all of them run insanely well, insanely awesome. I have. So I'm not a subject matter expert on barrels. I'm not. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine when you get all these guys on the internet that, they never went to sniper school. They never, but they're willing to give you opinions on everything sniper related. They never did this in the military, but they're willing to give you all their opinions on it. That's not me. If I don't know something, I'm going to just tell you I don't know enough about the subject. I'll tell you, I don't have an opinion, but at the same time, understand, guys, I'm not bashing them. I'm not, but understand if I say I don't have an opinion, I'm not being rude. I don't mean to come across as rude. I'm not coming across as though I want to blow you off. Not at all. But if I say I don't have an opinion, it's because I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass just regurgitating stuff that I have heard other people say on the internet. I have heard cold hammer forged barrels are awesome. I have heard this kind of barrel is awesome. I've heard that kind of barrel is awesome. But I personally do not have enough experience with it to share with you my experience because I don't have any. All right, let's try the next question. Hammer forged. All right, here's another one. You guys got good questions coming. Big Fezzigs here, Carl Kama. Thoughts on Barrett being sold? I didn't know anything about this at all until I actually got I'll scroll back, I'll show you. Brian James. It just says Brian, right? It just says Brian. That guys, that's Brian James. That's the top guy at the company. I don't know why he texted me. But I don't know if it was like a mass spam text. I don't even know if you can do that. But anyways, he texted me a link to a news article. I haven't had a chance to open it. But I immediately saw one of our moderators talking about how some company in Australia has purchased Barrett. Okay, so I immediately replied to him. I don't know if you guys can read that. Let me see if you guys can get it. Nope, you can't read my reply. But basically, I said, does that mean I'm not on the waiting list for an MRAD anymore? Because I'm still. They told me there was an 18-month wait to get an MRAD. I'm trying to get 2 MRADs. So we'll see. I know they're still going to have a booth. I'm hoping Barrett's still got a booth. But I will go get information for you guys at the booth. Hit me up again. Next live stream next Tuesday. All right, guys, because I'll be back home. I'll be in our nice, pretty studio, my office, and I'll be able to answer your questions. That's the cool part about SHOT is, and it's not because I have a YouTube channel. It's because although you'd be surprised, a lot of companies, just out of the blue, some guy will reach up and poke me, and while I'm walking by, like, hey man, I love your comment, I love your content, love your channel. Hey, you want to take a look at this new thing? I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, show me what you got. But most of these companies like Barrett and Glock and these different companies, I knew all those companies back while I was still in the military as a Green Beret, because I would come to SHOT Show every year, and I developed a working relationship with a lot of the night vision companies. I had, I think I had 9 separate types of night vision devices in a Pelican case in Baghdad that I was testing for night vision companies. Just like, I'll try them out on base at night in training. And, if they're working decent, I'll bring them out on ops and stuff. I'll see how they hold up. Sometimes they hold up, sometimes they don't. You'd be surprised. You throw a thermobaric hand grenade over the wall to let the bad guys know you're there. Not me, but one of the other guys throws it over the wall. And then you get on a loudspeaker, hey man, pizza delivery. You just blew out all the windows in the neighborhood with a thermobaric hand grenade. They know you're there. But you call them on the live stream, look, you either come outside or we're coming in, and it's going to be ugly. A lot of times they'll come out, and that's cool because now you're not having to risk any Americans, right? But at the same time, a lot of night vision devices do not like the shockwave from a handheld thermobaric hand grenade going off. It's like the holy hand grenade, thou shalt count to 3, not 2 and not 4, but only 3. Thou shalt pull the pin and count to 3. Yeah, it's a big grenade. But I've actually messed up night vision goggles. You know how they see green? The flash from a thermobaric hand grenade, I actually saw purple in my green phosphor. It's kind of neat. It was neat. It's cool, but they weren't very good after that. Yeah, not at all. All right. Back to questions from Miss Britcha. And guys, for Susan Britcher out there and Donut and JT, my other moderators, I would like you guys in the chat room to please thank them, because they are here every Tuesday, or in this case, Monday. They're even flexible to match my schedule to help me do these live streams. They really are. So you guys, please, in the chat room, please say thank you to my moderators there. All right. Barrett being sold. Yeah, as far as Barrett being sold, I'll ask him. I'll ask him what the deal is. But That's how, guys. That's how corporate America works. You understand, Ronnie, who it's the 40th anniversary of him making the M82. Um, he built this, and he's set. He's living the life, and he's given it all to his son. Uh, but now his son is basically retired to work on things, and he's got other people running the company. And I don't, maybe they've made the decision that, you're a responsible company, you're still going to continue the Barrett legacy, and we just want to grow old and spend money and be awesome. And because my father-in-law explained it to me. He had this big commercial drywall business, and he he said, "Carl, I'm not worried about my daughter or my son. I know, I know you're going to take care of Dana. And I'm not worried about my son and his wife. I go to work every day for my grandkids, and I want to make sure my grandkids are taken care of." And eventually, he reached a point where um, I know my grandkids are going to be fine. The the parents of my grandkids are they're going to be fine. And so he eventually retired, and very late in his life, and enjoyed retirement for not enough years. And there's nobody out there that on their deathbed which says, I wish I spent less time with my kids. There's nobody that says that. There's not. So if Ronnie and Chris Barrett have reached a point where they're like, we made it. Let's drop the mic and step back from Barrett Firearms, and let's just have fun with the grandkids and great grandkids. I'm happy for them. I am. I'm really happy for them. Shit, wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be awesome, guys? All right. The dude, Carl, chrome lined or salt bath nitride for 18-inch 308 barrel. I have no idea. No idea. Chrome lined has served the military very, very well. I've zero experience with a salt bath nitrate bath. No idea. I don't have any experience with it. I don't. Not gonna lie to you. All right. Glock and Pop in 17. Carl, do you or have you ever participated in the Sniper Unknown Challenge? Never heard of it. It sounds like it's a type of shooting competition. Okay. There's a lot of people that do the Mammoth Sniper Challenge. I would help out coach get the Texas A&M Corps Cadets marksmanship teams snipers ready to go to that. They compete. They do very, very well in it. The Mammoth Sniper Challenge, they had to carry all their gear, move distances, but that was bought from the original people, and it's now kind of been, from what I've been told, it's been watered down into more of a PRS match. But there's always been matches. For example, I competed in the International SWAT Sniper Championship. They do it every 5 years. This was, oh shit. I want to say it was 2004, 2005. I want to say it was 2005 time frame. Chris Papard, I've had Chris Papard on here before. Chris Papard actually took top sniper in that, my sniper team, because the main thing is a sniper team, but they also do a separate thing that is individual snipers. Chris took overall top sniper in that. I got a gold medal. Me and my spotter in the combat event. They have different events, and we took a gold medal in one of the events. I would bring my snipers to go compete in the International Tactical Rifleman Championship. It was being held out in Gillette, Wyoming. Great training, competed in it a couple of years. And it was just great to compete, not so much to compete to win, but to compete to be exposed to you're surrounded by guys that have been to the same sniper schools that you've been to. Okay. So how do we get better? We get better from gaining experience, yes, but the other way you can get better is by learning from other people's experience. So how do you do that? Well, you go to more schools, or you can go to the shooting matches and get around guys from maybe the British snipers, or snipers from the Department of Energy, or the FBI snipers, the ATF snipers. I'm not even gonna talk about them. I didn't know they were with the ATF while I was standing there bashing the ATF. All right, but anyways, they had won 500 meters one year. One of the challenges, it's called the egg shoot. It's not actually an egg, but you're at 500 meters and they have a target that is black, but it has an egg-shaped white dot on it. And it's to represent, I guess the first year they actually used real eggs. But the problem, though, is a bullet passing right next to an egg breaks the egg. The shock wave, if you're shooting a large enough caliber, is pushing enough air out of the way. So they actually went to a paper target, and they actually brought me up on stage and say the closest miss on the egg was Master Sergeant Erickson, and they showed it, and here's the egg, and my bullet was like a quarter of an inch off the egg. I think I was shooting a 6mm. I had my SR-25 with me, but for that one challenge, I wanted a bolt action. So I borrowed a bolt action from AMU down at Benning. And but then they actually had a guy that actually nicked the edge. He hit the egg at 500 meters, guys. So yeah, it was kind of cool. I got called up on stage and then told, "You're the first loser. Go away." Okay. And then he won. I think that for just that challenge, it was like a rifle and some. Anyways, competitions are fun, guys. I'm not familiar with that one particular competition you just listed. Sniper Unknown Challenge. Never heard of it. But whenever you have a chance, guys, to compete in competitions, I don't go to competitions to win. Don't go to competitions to have a good time. And you guys have seen pictures of my Jeep, right? And it's embarrassing, but you can go again. You can go on the internet, go to YouTube, and put in Maximum Warrior Competition. Maximum Warrior, Maxim like Maxim Magazine, because it was Maxim Magazine and Jeep and Tier 1 Group that got together, because they were all owned by the same company, Cerberus, and they put together a shooting competition. Long story, and I didn't go. I got asked to compete in it, and I was getting ready to retire, and I'm like, "No, I've been having problems with my shotgun," and they're like, "No, you have to use their guns. You can win a Jeep, but you have to use their guns." I'm like, "No, I'm definitely not competing if I got to use their guns. If I'm gonna compete, I'm gonna use my guns." They're like, "No, you don't understand. You get to keep the uniforms, you get to keep the body armor, you get to keep the pistol, you get to keep the rifle, you can win a Jeep." All I heard was free guns. So I competed in it with no intent at all of winning. That's not why you compete. Compete to have fun with it, and free guns. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to go compete in a competition, and I did, I ended up winning my 4-door Jeep there, and I was not a Jeep guy before that. I love my Jeep now. It's my favorite toy without a doubt. And then they had me go on and host the show the next 3 seasons. But Yeah, I enjoy. I would take all my assaulters, some of my assaulters, some of my snipers. We would go shoot the MGM Iron Man, which I don't even think they hold that match anymore. But back in the day, it was the largest three-gun match on the planet. 10 stages over 2.5 days. All stages were minimum of all three guns. So in other words, you've got 5 pistol mags, uh, probably 4 rifle mags because I'm running 20 rounds because I'm shooting at SR 25. And then you had your shotgun, and I would run 12 slugs on an armband, and I had 12 slugs on the side of my gun. My gun held, I think, 9. So that's 29 shotgun shells in my hand. And then I had caddies that held all my buckshot, my birdshot, stuff like that. And at the end, you use most of it in every stage. A couple stages, I ran out of ammo or ran out of time. But those were always great matches. I took second place in heavy rifle a couple times. Never took first place. Never did. Barry Duke from Surefire would always shoot heavy rifle, 308 rifle, and he'd always beat me. I could never beat Barry Duke. Why? Because Barry Duke is awesome. That's Barry Duke is awesome. But it's always a good time. Yeah, guys, don't be afraid of competing. The cool part about competing, it's kind of like doing obstacle courses or going and running PT through a mount site. It shows you deficiencies in your kit. All right, this pouch that I moved on my body armor, now it interferes with me climbing through windows, let's say. So I need to move that pouch. Me doing this competition shows me how bad my knee hurts or how bad my cardio is or whatever it is. Or, hey, I cannot shoot stable kneeling after having, or cannot shoot stable prone after having just ran 2.5 kilometers from the last stage. I can shoot okay kneeling because my diaphragm is still able to move. I'm able to breathe while I'm still keeping stable, shooting off the edge of the wall there. Actually shoot better kneeling or standing at a higher respiration rate, not necessarily my heart rate, but if I'm breathing 20 to 30 times a second instead of my normal 12 to 20, if my respirations are 26, 30, 40, if your respirations are at 60 respirations a minute, you understand that diaphragm. You shooting prone, you're not going to be accurate. Get up on a knee, bench off the edge of the wall, and you'll find there's little things like that. You learn this stuff by getting out and actually moving your carcass. And shooting competitions are a great way to do that. All right, that is my last question, I believe. I don't think I have any other ones right now. All right, I got another one right here. Who is this? Why are guys texting me? Oh, that's shoot. That is Ernie from Dayton Armor. You guys remember when we did that video, right? From the Dayton Armor, right? The 50 cal. They stopped the 50 cal, the plate that stopped the 50 cal. Yeah, they want me to stop by their booth. We're going to try to put another video together and shoot some more. So they got some great body armor guys. Anyways, he doesn't realize I'm doing a live stream tonight, so I'm going to cut him some slack. All right. How far into this are we? We are, what are we, 1 hour, hour and a half, hour and 16 minutes? That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. Can you guys see the city behind me? I know you guys can see the Ferris wheel over here. Every one of those balls on the Ferris wheel, every other one has got a bar in it. So if you don't like the drink, you're getting one that doesn't have a bar. But it takes a while for it to go around. And it's kind of neat. There's some fun stuff to do here. Emory has never been to a show in Vegas. So My wife and I, my daughter, my son, and Emery. I think it's Wednesday night. We're gonna go see Ka. It's one of the Cirque du Soleil shows. The shows in Vegas are uh, one of the only selling points here. Good stuff indeed. All right. I don't think I have any other questions from Susan. No other questions. All right. Well, you guys are coming up with more questions. She might be busy. That's fine. There's a couple things that I want to touch on real quick, guys. Right, is we have our TR calendar that's up, right? And I know that there was some talk about, hey, we don't like that you have Carbine Zero Mastery after the pistol course, before pistol carbine, but then it needs to be right before the advanced course. And I agree with that, but Emery wanted to try it before the pistol carbine class. So we tried that for one class, right? I believe later on in the year. But I have a lot of new classes that are up on the calendar. A couple of you also reached out about our low light shooting class. It's going to be 2 days long. It does involve shooting with weapon mounted lights. It is also going to involve night vision. So if you have night vision devices, you can bring them. But one of the reasons why there's not a lot of detail on that course online right now is SHOT Show. One of the things that's on my list to do here is I'm going to go get with the different night vision companies, and I'm going to try to find a night vision company that will basically sponsor this class. And what I mean by sponsor is lend me enough brand new night vision units to cover the class, but with the option to buy. So in other words, you attend the class, you can use, let's say, binos or PVS 14. And at the end of the class, you've used them and you like them and you're like, man, this is badass. This is a Gen 2 Plus tube. The price is awesome. You can buy the nods and take them home with you, right? But once we lock in the dates and I lock in which company that's going to do that with us, we'll also open it up so that anybody attending the course can actually basically buy anything from them at a discount. So in other words, if you don't want to use PVS 14s, you want to run binos, but I'm getting PVS 14s for the class, you can use the discount because you already are locked into the class. You can buy this set of binos and I'll have them for you at class. Illuminators, things like that, flashlights, we'll see how far I can go. But anyways, that's why there'll be more to follow on that course also. Gunrunner 1, pistol, Gunrunner 1, carbine. Those are two new courses. I'm not an instructor in that course. It is going to be Chad Moorman, who teaches the dark arts, and Emery Morgenstern. They got together and they actually pulled me to the side and they're like, look, when you run pistol carbine or combat pistol 101, there's often, we spend a lot of time working on the basics and getting those basics, getting people where they need to be, and it cuts into class a little bit. Okay, and that's the nature of the beast, guys. When you're when you're training the military or training law enforcement, it's not just when training civilians, but you get a unit in that military unit or that law enforcement unit or that group of civilians, you're always going to have new people, or you're going to have people with different levels of skill. The funny part is a lot of times you get people that really think they're awesome and they're really not, which is hilarious. And that's okay, but that's why you come take classes. And so what they did was they said, look, we've got to, rather than wasting all of our time doing the basics in Combat Pistol 101, me and Chad have come up with Gunrunner 1 pistol, and we're going to cover all those fundamentals of pistol marksmanship so that they then can take Combat Pistol 101 and they'll be good to go, ready to go. Okay, cool. Sounds great. Sounds awesome. Great idea. Nobody has signed up for the course yet. I'm like, wow. Now, one or two things here. That means all you guys are already awesome. And that's not me. As a matter of fact, I would love to attend Gun Runner 1 pistol right before I teach Combat Pistol 101, because even if I'm good enough to teach the class, I still would love to have a great review. But another part about the class is while you're doing that review, I've got instructor eyes watching me and say, Carl, you're good, but you could be a little better if you would just do this just a little bit more. And see, that's a cool part about a class like Gun Runner 1 is because they're going to be small classes. It's a lot of one-on-one stuff and getting the reps in, and you get all the drills and the fine tuning on day one, and then day two is all getting the repetitions in on all those teaching points. So it's a great course. So, yeah, if you guys not signing up for, basically, you don't need it. You're already awesome. Or I'm not marketing the class well enough. So I told Emery, I was like, it's obviously my fault. So I'm here, and I've told Emery, like, look, while we're at SHOT Show here, we need to film a couple advertisement videos, because we're already halfway through January, and I got to get people to sign up for Gun Runner. All right. The March classes for Combat Pistol 101, Combat Pistol Carbine, I'm starting to get people to sign up for that. I'll get enough people to run the classes. Not worried about it. And I understand, guys. I know money's tight. I know I know the situation everybody's in, but at the same time, everybody's like, Carl, you're going to be buying a bunch of stuff at SHOT Show. I don't. I have my rifle. I have a spare. I have my pistol, and I have a spare. A lot of times when you come to classes, you'll see my spare will not have optic on it. It'll be iron sights. And the reason why I do that is when the students are warming up, if most of the students are running iron sights, I will put my red dot away and I will shoot the course with my iron sights. And that's why I used to, almost all my classes were iron sights, is especially teaching law enforcement. They are just now starting to get some optics on their guns. But if the clients are all shooting 1911s, I will unclip my Glock holster and I'll put my 1911 on it. If they're all shooting optics, I will put my optics Glock in there. And yeah, I always bring 2 rifles and 2 pistols to every class. And it's just it is what it is. All right, Philip. Yeah, I appreciate you signing up, man. That is awesome indeed. A couple of you guys have signed up for classes, and it's a good time. It is a good time. We enjoy teaching. I have my military retirement, and mind you, it's only 50% of your base pay. So while we were in the military, my wife was used to spending my base pay and my pro pay for being a Green Beret and my language pay and my demo pay and my airborne pay and my halo pay, and then my overseas pay, and then my family separation allowance, my hostile fire pay, my combat pay. You understand how my paycheck grows the more I get shot at, or the crazier stuff they have me do. But your retirement is only 50% of the base pay, none of the rest of this pile of money. So when I retired, I went down to 50% of that. So I have my retirement. we make a little bit of money off of YouTube, not as much because they demonetize our videos and everything. I make a little bit of money doing classes, not a lot, not a lot at all. Matter of fact, some classes my instructors make more than I do because I didn't fill enough slots, let's say, or I priced it wrong, whatever. What keeps this YouTube tactical rifleman thing afloat is the support that I get from my patrons on Patreon. And so it helps me keep this afloat financially, but it also, my patrons keep my heart filled a little bit. I don't have time to read a lot of your comments, but I get to interact with my patrons. And why I do this, why I teach these classes is not for the money. It's not. I would be doing Wall Street if I was making money, right? I do this because sincerely, I want to make the world a better place. My job as a Green Beret was to teach people overseas, teach the countries that fight for themselves, lead their troops in battle. But now I enjoy teaching. I still do. I've always enjoyed it, and I'm still enjoying it. And the way I look at it is, it keeps me from military retirement. You're not retired, so I'm not old enough to retire yet. Anyways, this allows me to work, and I'm still bringing in enough money, and it keeps me from dying. I know if I retire, I'll probably be dead in a year or two. So I'm going to keep this carcass moving for a while. So but we're not making, definitely not making enough money on the courses to quit doing a YouTube channel. No, not even close. But I don't want to give up teaching. And it's been brought up. Carl, you're working too much. My wife's saying it. She's like, you're working a full-time job doing the internet, and then you're working a full-time job teaching classes. When you retired, there was supposed to be some more time for your family. Where's your time for me? And she said that if I gave up classes, we could just focus on YouTube videos. And she's right. I could probably build YouTube a little bit and make up for classes. But honestly, I enjoy teaching classes. Those of you that have come and took classes with us, I hope you guys will agree that me and my instructor staff are trying to make the world a better place teaching classes, because you can only get so much in videos. I can tell you, hey, this is the shooting drill, and you can watch the video 10 times. You can go do it, and you think you're doing it right. But when I'm actually standing there, or one of my instructors, Randy or Donnie or Wick or whoever it is standing there watching you do it, they're like, no, dude, you need to change this. You need to do this. It really does. It really does make you better. So if you guys aren't getting out there taking classes, I'd love to have you come train with me. But if we're too far away, or whatever it is, find somebody local to you that's doing classes. There's people all over the place that's doing classes, and there's good training out there indeed. All right, got another one here. Sherry Champagne threw down 5 bones. Carl, where is Emery at tonight? Was hoping he would be on the live stream tonight with you. My son is actually editing videos from stuff that we filmed today. And Emery is actually staying 20 minutes out off the strip. He got a house with 5 other guys, and they're all friends of Emery's, kind of I Spy crowd, and they're going out as a group. They do things. He went out last night to a birthday party, and there were a couple girls there that we knew from different companies, and one of them's working for EOTech now and everything. And he was out with some VIPs from Brownells, and Emery's doing what he's supposed to be doing at SHOT Show, and that's going out to all these little parties and meetings and stuff. That's the one thing about SHOT is a lot of these people they're stuck in the booth all day long, and we've got so much stuff to go see and everything. But where a lot of the interaction, coordination, and handshaking happens is after the after show parties. I think it's Thursday night. I've been invited to go to dinner. It's a business dinner, but it's for a big night vision company that's making a big comeback. That's the stuff that's going on. And, go to lunch with these guys, or like my first meeting tomorrow morning is 9:00 in the morning. That's fine. And I'll have meetings all these days, but a lot of times it's going out to the parties at night, like Emery did last night. He got introduced to some VIPs from Brownells and a couple other companies, and that's how you really establish rapport with a lot of these companies. You're putting names to the faces and everything. So, Erica, I'm kind of glad Emery is not hanging here with me for this. Not that you guys wouldn't want to see Emery, but the reality is Emery's got work to do at SHOT. James Whittaker, Carl, I'm attempting to convince our church security to purchase med kits in case of active shooter situation. Any wisdom to impart? Yep. All right. Take them out and get a case of water. All right. Get a case of water and take the short bottles of water. All right, which is half liter. Right, the small bottle, 500 mLs. All right, and take the caps off of 6 of them. Right, which is just 3 liters, mind you. You've got much more blood in you than that. Right, and show them. See these 6 bottles right here. All right, represent basically how much blood you can lose before you go into uncompensated shock. And they're going to look at you like, what are you talking about? When the guy passes out, and chances are, once you go into uncompensated shock, we're not going to bring you back. You're dead. All right. Now, these 6 bottles represent that much blood. And then pick up one of the bottles and say, you see that hole in the top of the bottle? I can take my finger and I can stick my finger into that hole. That is the same diameter as the femoral artery that runs through your leg. Same size hole. Right? Now, if someone was to walk into our church right now, go to shoot at you and miss you in the chest, but they end up hitting you in the leg and clip that femoral artery, you fall down. You, Bob, the guy standing next to him, have got to apply a tourniquet, stop the bleeding somehow. Because, you can use anything for a tourniquet. Turn the bottle upside down. Bob, don't just stand there. He just got shot. Stop the bleeding. Stop the bleeding. And Bob's going to look at you like, and when that bottle runs out, drop it. Pick up the next one and turn it over. You're in the parking lot outside your church. Bob, stop the bleeding. And he's gonna try to get his belt off or whatever and pour next one. And by the time he's even figured out what to do, you're gonna be on that last bottle. And you're gonna just say, Bob, stop. And they're both gonna look at you, and you're gonna drop that bottle right next to the other 5 on the ground, and like, guys, that's water today, but that could be blood anywhere in the middle of our church. It is very, very easy to stop a femoral bleeder with a simple Cat 7 tourniquet. Very simple. But not if it's in the trunk of your car. Not if you got it at home or up in the attic. You have to have it here with you. Now, I'll clean up the water in the parking lot if you guys will clean up all the blood in the middle of the church. Or we can invest a little bit of money, and we can put med kits strategically placed throughout the church. Right, a normal military IFAC. You can go to Bear Independent, Refuge Medical, and you can get them red, you can get them black, you can get them whatever color you need to have. I recommend red, and hang it right underneath the fire extinguisher, because everybody knows where the fire extinguishers are. Have your med kit right underneath the fire extinguisher, and then whoever your church security is, they should have tourniquets on them. They should, guys. They should have tourniquets on them, right? They should have tourniquets on them. So, anyways, that's what I would recommend. You need to give them visually something that's going to stick, and all it takes is 6 little bottles of water. You don't have to use Gatorade. You could use red Gatorade if you wanted to. If you've got a tile floor in the church and you don't mind mopping up the red Gatorade, you could be more dramatic. If you've ever seen somebody bleed out for real, it's very graphic. It's something you will never unsee for the rest of your life, the amount of blood that's there. And but at the same time, some of you that have taken my medical classes that I teach with Travis Hall, or if you've taken medical classes that I have taught myself, I do just that. I have done it with church groups. I have done it, and I don't care. I will go mop it up. I do it wherever I'm teaching the class. I could be up on the stage, and I will throw, because we just did a class on the tourniquets, and everybody thinks they're good. When we get to the slide about shock and how, compensated versus uncompensated shock, I literally will explain that this is it, and I will point at him. I'll be like, you just got shot in the leg, and I'll look it over and like, Chad, you got your tourniquet? He's bleeding out, and I'll start pouring water, and you'll watch Chad jump up, run across the classroom, trying to get to this guy to put the tourniquet on. And usually, as that student getting to that student, and they just had a class on tourniquets, they literally just put them on. They still have it in their hand. I'm still usually already into the 3rd or 4th bottle by the time they get the tourniquet on. And that's the importance of why you don't leave your tourniquet wrapped in plastic or in a container you can't get open or in the trunk of the car. You have to be able to do this stuff at the drop of a dime. You just have to. That's just it's how this stuff is. All right. I'm very big on being visual because it sticks with the students that that guy would have died. That guy would have died if that was blood instead of water. Bubba Bong, hey Carl, would you be interested in putting on a training class or two on your next trip to Moab? If you are interested, I could more than likely fill a class with a couple phone calls. Bubba Bong, I'm not against that. I'm really not. We weren't planning on doing Moab this May. End of May, beginning of June. We're actually going to, I think, Windrock. We're going to do the Appalachian Mountains this time instead of the Rockies. But at the same time, you guys know I have my Hive camper. I love my Hive camper. I definitely love my Hive camper. Yeah, I do need to make a run out there. So I'm not against the concept. I'm not. So send me an email, tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com, and refresh my memory. And let me know how far you are from Moab, but also, what kind of classes would you be interested in? If it's basic med class, combat pistol 101, stuff like that, it's very, very easy to do. because I'll usually have, I could, Mickey and Toby could easily be assistant instructors for me. I teach all the class for the most part, and I can have Emery teach any part of this stuff. I can have a lot of my other instructors teach any part of my classes, but for the most part, when I do smaller, like guest location classes like that, it's usually me, and then I'll use basically, uh, local guys to be my assistants. But basically, I need them to keep everybody safe while we're doing the drills, follow the teaching points that I'm working on for that drill. So, yeah, I'm not against it at all. Classes I would not be able to do would be precision rifle, because it takes a lot for me to be able to set that up. One, and the advanced course, I cannot do advanced pistol carbine because it requires literally, I have to have my barricades, and yeah, there's just so much that goes into it. Really is. So yeah, I'm not against it at all. It's an excuse for me to go out to Moab. Kind of like the thought of that. All right. Let's see what this one is right here. Riff Le Mans back with 10 more bones. Carl, my plan is to sign up for Gun Runner after tax season. It would be great if there were a high risk EDC course after Gun Runner. Yeah, the problem with that, guys, is high risk EDC and Gun Runner are both taught by Chad Mormon. And Chad Mormon is an awesome instructor. When he wanted to do both classes, I was like, done. But the problem with that is Chad, because you have to have travel to and from, he can only do 2 days of training at a time. So each one of those classes is 2 days. So Chad cannot get 4 training days with travel days on both ends. He can only get so much time off from his day job. So, yeah, and he can't leave his day job yet because his wife, I don't know if you guys are familiar with some of the issues that he has had. But his wife's had a lot of medical issues, and he sold his Jeep, he sold his rally car, he sold all his guns to pay for her medical bills. So he, because the medical insurance was not covering all of it, if he can't not lose that medical insurance he has right now, not at all. Chad is good people. He's very, very humble. I would do anything to help Chad. And when Chad asks, hey, Carl, these dates on the calendar, I am available to do classes. I would like you to plug in 2 of each of these at different places. Yes, Chad, roger that. I will do anything to make that happen. So I can't do them back to back. I'd love to too. I would love to give you guys like nonstop classes and let you guys pick what order they're in, and you can change them around. But understand, it wouldn't work for certain people. So unfortunately, Riff, you're going to end up having to make 2 road trips. 2 road trips. The only classes we do a thunder run every once in a while. What I mean by a thunder run is usually we do Combat Pistol 101, Combat Pistol Carbine, 3 days. We do a bunch of those. We always have. It's a long weekend for me. It's usually a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We've kind of slid them into the middle of the week. They end on Saturdays so that I'm not working on Sundays. And that's normally how we do it. We normally do 2 or 3 days straight. High risk travel is 3 days. But then what we did, okay, there were people in Texas that were wanting the advanced course. So what we did was we did what we call a thunder run. We're going to stay a long time. We did 2 days of medical with Refuge Medical, Combat Pistol 101, Combat Pistol Carbine, Carbine Zero Mastery, and then the advanced course. Guys, that's 8 days straight tactical rifleman classes. You add travel to both ends of that with me singing heavy metal the whole way, and my voice is shot. I am sunburned. I'm dehydrated from being out in the Texas heat, and 8 days straight, even 6 days straight, that's a long thunder run. It's not something I want to do back to back. But that said, the reason why I still do it, if you look at our calendar for this year, it is 100%. I've got them in two places this spring. I've got it in Texas and I've got it in Tennessee. So if you go sign up, same thing. There are 6 days straight, minimum of 6 classes, 6 days of training in each location. I think they even have just the tests at the end after the advanced course. What just the tests is, there's a lot of you that have taken our pistol carbine class a few times. You have our list of critical task evaluations. You have them. They're in the student handouts. We're not hiding anything from you. You've practiced them. You've plateaued. You've made the times, or maybe you haven't, but you're wanting to get better. So what I've done is I've added this year. And it is my class. It's not anybody else's. It is one day. It's called Just the Tests. And it's not just those 13 CTEs, but it is tests. And we're going to start with the test, and either you pass or fail. But no matter what your time was on it, we can all get better. And we're going to break it down and show, hey, this is the task that you're wanting to get better at. And maybe you're just coming for bragging rights that you can smoke all the CTEs. Okay, there are other tests that we're going to be doing that are not just on that list. And but the ones that we are going to do, let's say you pass it but barely pass. Let's say you didn't pass, or let's say you blew it away. Doesn't matter. We're going to break it down step by step and show you how you can get better and how you can take any test, any critical task evaluation, in whether it's close quarters battle, whether it's this kind of shooting, whether it is basketball. No matter what the task is, we show you how to take it, break it in, and then how to practice it. All right, 50% speed, then 80%, and then 100%. And anyways, it's only one day, and it's fun. It's a lot of shooting, and you're not having to worry about the class being held up because I got 3 guys at the other end that cannot hold the pistol and hit the piece of paper. It's not. It's basically you will have already have had to take in combat pistol carbine in order for you to take just the test. No big deal. Nothing crazy. But it's going to be a fun course. So if you add that one to the end, that's 7 days of straight thunder run. It's a good time. If you're looking for bang for your buck, you don't want to spend a lot of time on travel. Take that week off. It's like taking a week, go to Disney World, except better because you don't have the family with you and you're shooting guns. So it's awesome. It really is. Really is. Let's see what we got. I already did that one. I think Susan typed something. Yes, Susan, I agree with you 100%. I'm a dumbass. Thank you for pointing that out. She just called me a dumbass. All right. Without further ado, can demonstrating a tourniquet do any damage to a person? No. Here's why. So long as you're doing it correctly. Put a tourniquet on somebody. Understand when you tighten a tourniquet, you are tightening the tourniquet tight enough to stop the bleeding. All right. So if all that's been cut is, understand you've got different arteries, right? You got your brachial artery that runs just inside the arm here. All right. you've got big veins, and veins can bleed also. If it's a really bad vein, saphenous vein, let's say on the leg, that's just gushing, but it's not squirting like at heartbeat, but it is bleeding a lot. Apply direct pressure, pack to the bone with Curlex. Maybe you don't have any Curlex, maybe you're panicked, maybe you got 12 people to treat. So you put that tourniquet on. You're tightening the tourniquet down enough to stop the bleeding. Now, understand on a big leg, if it's a femoral bleeder, to put enough pressure on that femoral artery, you've got to compress all the other vessels all around it. So you've got to tighten it up a lot. Now, when you're just doing training, we have you apply it as tight as possible with just the Velcro strap, and then one turn of the windlass to show them how you would tighten it with the understanding, and explain to them during training, you would tighten this tight enough to stop the bleeding, right? But another way to mention it to them is, look, if I put this on him tight enough and he's awake, he's going to want to take it off. I watched the master sergeant, knowing full well he would die if they took that tourniquet off. Every time they turned their back, he was trying to loosen the tourniquet because that's how bad it hurt. You crushing to crush this artery, you've also got to crush this vein, but you've also got to crush this nerve over here. You've got to crush all three of them, and to get this big one closed. That vein is easy to crush, all right? But that nerve runs right in. It's why it's called a cardiovascular bundle. It's wherever that vein and artery run, there's a nerve running with it, and it hurts. Tourniquets hurt. So you shouldn't, unless you put it on too tight, you're not going to do any damage to the person. You're just putting it on as a constrictor band. I usually will put it on myself, and when I demonstrate how to apply one-handed, all right, I will put it on tight enough, and then I'll go one more. Why? Because I'm a dumbass. But then I will actually show them my fingers, and what I'm showing them is capillary refill. What I mean by that is, if you guys can see it, but if I squeeze my fingernail, the nail turns white, but as soon as I let go of it, see the blood immediately came back into that finger. But if you put on even a constrictor band, which that's all a loose tourniquet is, if you put it on semi-tight, I can squeeze that fingernail, and when I let go, that fingernail will not fill back up with blood because it's not getting any more blood to it because I have a constrictor band. A tourniquet, you squeeze the blood out of the finger, it will stay white or blue. Right. So, you're not really going to hurt anybody putting a tourniquet on in training. Just don't put it on too tight. One other note about tourniquets, guys. Remember I said you put it on to stop the bleeding. There's one exception to that, and that is what we call a traumatic amputation. Let's say a IED goes off and it blows a guy's foot off. When you run over to the guy, he's laying there. His foot's laying way over there, which is funny, by the way. You should pick it up and go, man, your shoe fell off, But when you run up to him, understand that blast, that stump may not be bleeding very much. And the reason why it's not bleeding is, if I was to hold your hand out and I was to poke in the palm of your hand with my knife, your hand immediately withdraws. Same thing if you grab a hot pot on the stove, because of the pain, your hand immediately withdraws. Why is it withdrawn? It's withdrawn because of the pain, but how does that automatically happen? It automatically happens. You can be unconscious. It would still, unless you're at the surgical plane of anesthesia, I can still, you asleep, drunk, whatever, I can still poke you in the hand with a knife or a pin or a golf tee, and your hand will still recoil, all right? Unless you're down to the surgical plane, all right? And how that happens is all those muscles are contracting in that form. It's the same thing with that calf. When that foot got blown off, all those muscles in that calf contracted. Now, make a fist as tight as you can. You can do that with me. Go ahead. Make a fist as tight as you can. Do it. No, you in the back too. Jerry, hold your hand up. Move. You too also in the back. Make a fist as tight as you. I want those knuckles white. Make white knuckles. Now, hold that like that for 5 minutes. I'll wait. We'll start the time. We're coming up on 2 hours. 5 minutes after, all right? I didn't say put your hand down. Keep your hand, hold that fist tight for 5 minutes. You can't do it. You can't hold it that tight for 5 minutes. That's the same thing with that leg that just had the foot blown off. So he's not bleeding. You put him on a litter, you throw a space blanket over him, and you quickly grab him and put him in the ambulance they drive in, or you put him on the helicopter. 3-4 minutes later, all those muscles relax. And when they relax, all of a sudden it starts bleeding again. And nobody sees it because the PJ is worried about airways and everything else, and it's bleeding underneath the space blanket. So if you have a traumatic amputation, hand, foot, knee, whatever it is, it gets a tourniquet. Don't pack the bone with gauze and wrap it and make it look pretty so it doesn't get dirt on it. Nada. Doesn't matter. They're going to shorten it anyways. When he gets to a surgeon, they're going to shorten it anyways. They're going to shorten it anyways. Don't even try keeping it clean. Don't waste your time. Put a tourniquet on it. That's just the truth, right? And the life you save may be that guy. Guarantee it, because it will eventually start bleeding, right? So, yeah, you guys that are still holding, you can hold it. We'll see how long you guys can go. Monkeys are a wonderful thing. All right, Nick is sending me stuff. My wife just said, "Love you." I love you too. I will allow my wife to text me in the middle of a live stream. You guys aren't allowed to do that. I said, "I love you too." All right, Miss Britcher. She sent me some more here. A Random American. How you doing, brother? Will you be offering Precision Rifle 201 this year? You mentioned it at Precision Rifle 101. I will not. Here's why. 2 reasons. One, I don't have enough students that are interested in taking a 201 course, but I also don't have a range that I can teach it at. I have certain requirements for the advanced course, and right now I don't have a range that have it. K&M Precision was close, but I'm going to say no. I'm not going to lie to you. I want to teach the advanced course, but honestly, Greg, there's just so many people out there that still need Tactical Precision Rifle 101. So we have that on the calendar this year. And yeah, I'm looking forward to teaching that. I'm going to bring Sularu out again. All right, so we're at 2 hours already. You guys are a bunch of nutbags. What are you doing? You don't have something better to do tonight? All right, we're going to give one last shout for questions. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. My wife will be here. What time is it? Oh, her flight don't land for another 3 hours. Wow, it's going to be a long night tonight. Whew. That's right. And then by the time she gets through baggage, gets a taxi and everything, yeah, I got a long night ahead of me. So anyways, we've had a great live stream tonight. It's been awesome hanging out with you guys. I think I'm going to go downstairs, and a couple of hotels down is where some of the 5th group guys are staying. And I got texts from my buddies coming. Oh, one of you guys had to throw down some more dinero. I'm good with that. I'll take your money. I will take your money. All right. Refleman, Carl, high risk EDC course menu on TR website doesn't state when or where the course will take place. All right. I'll have to check on that. I thought it was up on the calendar. Oh yeah, guys, there are hiccups on the course. I appreciate you pointing it out, Riff, but I think it's on the calendar. If you go to the events calendar, You can go to the calendar and scroll through it by month. And I think you'll see the sign there for, but maybe not. All right. Of course. Yeah. All right. So we're going to wrap this up. Yeah, we're at over 2 hours. Guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I do. I'm going to go take off my TR shirt. I'm going to put on a human being shirt. I know you guys think I wear a TR hat and a TR shirt 24/7. That is not the case. It's not at all. I'm a human being and I like to blend in. So I will put all this stuff away. Moody too, if you're still here, thank you so much for the combat resupply of apple pie moonshine. That was awesome. I want to give a big shout out and thanks to JT Donut and of course Susan Britcher for being our moderators tonight. And for those of you guys that did super chat, thank you for the money. I appreciate it. YouTube takes a big chunk of it, but it's still helping out. For those of you that turned in questions, it was awesome. Great questions tonight. We had some good questions tonight. I owe you guys answers from Ronnie Barrett and Chris Barrett. I will see them at SHOT. And I don't know if Ronnie's going to be here this year, but I know Chris will be here. He's not going to pass it up. He's not. I see I got T. Willies here and Toby, you and Mickey, we've got to get together. My Jeep is getting worked on right now. I'm still having problems with my catalytic converter. I blew the weld out on the thing and a couple other little hiccups. But I have Chief Warrant Officer 5 Simmons, our old 5th Group motor officer. He moved some of the hot rods out of his shop, and he's got my Jeep up on the rack, making it magical. So we will be ready to go indeed. All right, guys, I want to give a big shout out again to SDI again. I want to thank them for sponsoring us, guys. Seriously, if you're looking for online school that deals with anything with the gun industry, Sonora Desert Institute is definitely the way to do it. So if you want to learn anything more about their current course offerings, you can check them out at sdi.edu. Awesome stuff indeed. Yeah, I got some great videos coming up for you guys. I really do, and I wish you all could have had a chance to shoot the minigun with me. And I love me some minigun, and yeah, it was fun. This one has 3 different speeds, and you can change them on the fly. So you can start at low speed and kind of get the rounds where you want them, and then just flip straight through medium all the way up to high and hit it at 3,000 plus rounds a minute. And it was just a beautiful thing. You guys are going to love that video almost as much as I did filming it. So anyways, I had a great night tonight hanging out with you guys. And yeah, I'm looking forward to SHOT tomorrow. Early day for me. I'm looking at about 5 hours of sleep. Not that bad, right? Can't live forever. I will sleep when I'm dead. And it's been awesome. And I'll see you guys later. All right. You guys take care and shoot straight.